Okay, well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Lauren. This is really exciting.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know that you've recently written a book. You've really leaned on a target market. You're doing all kinds of education training. And I, before I steal your thunder, I'll let you do a brief introduction and then we'll get into kind of the nitty-gritty of how you've been able to really lean in and build these different tools for folks that you work with. So I'll let you do the quick intro here.
Thank you. So, my name is Sarah Carlson. I founded Fulcrum Financial Group 25 years ago, and we're a wealth management financial planning practice in Spokane, Washington. We have clients all over the world. Just we really help people one person at a time. We embrace diversity and inclusion, and it's just been such an amazing industry to really profoundly, positively affect clients and helping them live their best lives.
Mm. So I have to say, on this side marketing, right? And we talk with a lot of different firms. One of the things that sometimes is scary for folks is, especially if they've been in business for a while, if they go, okay, we really want to lean in on a particular target market, and but we don't, right? Like I get that a lot. It's like, okay, we're going to go after business owners, but we still want to be able to talk to our retirees that are our current clients. And how do we do this and everything? And you've done a really nice job. I mean, even as you shared in the introduction, working with diversity, equity, inclusion as a main focus, and you work with a lot with women. How have you comfortably leaned into that particular target, and kind of how did you decide to go about, really leaning into that space?
Yeah, I see there's such a demand for helping that market. I myself, being a woman, I've gone through a lot of change and adversity in my life, and having so many people that are making very challenging decisions. Having good advice and having access to people that have experience and perspective to help them make decisions was it was almost like I realized the benefit of being authentic and having your vibe attract your tribe.
Mhm.
So being a mother, I'm a mother of two sets of twins,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I know.
Wow, holy smokes, that you've been busy. Wow.
Right. And they're young adults now. So after 25 years, it's definitely a different vantage now. But, through that, there's just so much balancing, right? We all make, as women, we tend to prioritize everyone before ourselves, our children, our partners, our bosses, our clients. And we always think we're going to have more time and more resources to take care of ourselves. And I realize I'm so passionate about money and financial situations that I feel like it's the one thing that you can control with some game plan and working on your life and not in your life.
Mhm.
And it was just a way for me to really provide value. So I've assembled a team of incredible problem solvers,
Mhm.
and it's just so rewarding to help people navigate through life and see their lives unfold. So it's not just about making good money decisions. It's also about emotionally feeling comfortable with the game plan and being able to pivot and make different choices. So
Mhm.
having it's not just about putting a plan in place, it's really about taking care of that plan.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I love what you said earlier too about this idea of authenticity and passion, right? Because I feel like if you're authentically, if that's an audience or a topic or something that you care about, that kind of energy resonates. And like you said, it attracts like, right? So I think there's something to that. So going along that sort of vein, let's talk a little bit about the book. What led you to write the book? Was it, over the years of building out the practice? Was it really leaning in and working with different clients? Like what sort of got you to that point, or what was the trigger to go, okay, I'm gonna do this BHAG, right? Big hairy audacious goal. So
Yeah, it was seeing the incredible magic unfold in our clients' lives and having people come back and just be so connected and appreciative of the work that we were doing. And I wanted the ability to touch more. I had myself gone through a very contentious divorce, and I learned so much. And even though I was an expert in the money business, I learned so much more about those money decisions. So it started with me blogging and wanting to share that information. And I was blown away by the positive response I received from people I didn't know. I didn't even know they were reading my content. And
Mm.
so at that point, I thought, this is an opportunity for me to put something together to just touch more people, one reader at a time. So
Mhm.
um, Facing Financial Fears, 8 Steps to Financial Freedom for Women. Here's, whoops,
Yes.
doesn't come in good with the blog. We'll have to include a link with
Yes,
that.
we'll have to include a link to the book.
Um, but it was a long process. Probably wrote 3 books within. I probably took longer than most writers would take, but I really wanted it to be right. And the final product is something I'm very proud of, and I'm just so touched and blown away how well it's received. So it's in soft cover, hardcover, Kindle, and just recently came out with an Audible version. So
Oh my
it's
goodness. What
been
a
fun.
learning curve to be able to put a piece like that together. How did you go about it? I mean, you're running this firm, working with the team and clients. Was this something you sort of do on the weekends, or how did you even find the time to be able to put together this kind of piece?
Yeah, something I do to take care of myself is I wake up early. Oh, and when my kids were home, I'd wake up before I needed to get them up to get them off to school. And so I still to this day take about at least an hour or 2 hours every day. I wake up and I journal, I write, and I exercise, and I just light my brain on fire. I mean, I feel so blessed to be in this industry and just absolutely love it that it gives me energy. So it doesn't feel like work at all. And I think
Mhm.
that's what I would want for anybody in any profession, is to have something that they're just connected to.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I just to make a note about what you shared earlier, talking about the book, and you talked about, you're putting out content and people you didn't even realize that people are reading it, right? And I think that's something that's kind of funny too, is that you're putting out things and sometimes you get a like or you get a comment, but all these little things you're putting out in the world is that people are sort of watching, right? And so I think that it's um uh, not easy to do, to then be able to ride that and then to be able to provide something that's more valuable and authentic, to folks, to be able to provide even more value in the world. So you just never know, I guess, is the end of it. You never know who's watching, right? So um
Right.
so
And
go ahead.
well, and to that point, I consider myself a real Girl Scout. I call myself a wing woman.
Uh-huh.
Someone said, "Does that mean you're helping people date?" I'm like, "No, it means I have got your back, and I have perspective and tools to make sure to help keep you safe in a situation." And that's where writing content and sharing ideas, and to that point, we're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, every but that's where, if you can share your ideas and market in a way, then your tribe will find you and you'll end up getting a better fit.
Yeah, it's so true. So along kind of that vein, and then you were talking about just own self-care. I know you write a lot about this idea of like mental wellness, right? And I'd love to hear a little bit more about that, and also the intersection of just of finances, right? And being able to make sure that you're set up for success, knowing that that's an intersection that you touch a lot on. So do you mind sharing a little bit more and maybe even some takeaways for folks that are listening? So
Yeah, so I graduated from Yale with a degree in economics and a minor in psychology. And I always felt there was so much connection between the markets and how people are feeling. And I think it's probably been more so now than ever. Um, and have always led with that. It's important that people not, because it's not just about being rich and having a lot of money in the bank. It's really about being wealthy and like wellness wealthy, where
Mhm.
everyone's goals and what helps build security and comfort is different. My goal is that our clients have enough money so they get to spend time and energy with the people they want to spend it with, where they want to spend it, for how long they want to spend it. And it's different for everyone.
Hmm. I just out of curiosity, do you leaning kind of in on that as you're doing your discovery with clients? Is there something unique in the way that you do that, or in the way that you maybe carry out your engagement with clients to make sure that that passion, that mental wellness, the financial wellness is leading forward versus just sort of a transaction or a plan, if you will?
I think so. Many times we always give a complimentary consultation for folks to come in to see whether or not we're a good fit. And I have so many stories. I'm thinking about Brenda, who's an artist. Not too long ago, um, came and in one of our first visits, she had incredible income, makes these
Mhm.
incredible pieces of art for like $20,000 a piece, and yet she made a ton of money. She was perpetually in debt. And so through the cash flow analysis and helping to figure out why isn't there more money to put aside, realized she had this incredible expense with luxury goods.
Mm.
And what was so fascinating about that is she was a very reclusive person. She was single, middle-aged, didn't have a boyfriend. She was kind of a homebody. And so in looking at it, I was like, what's with all these Gucci shoes?
Yeah.
Right. And so then she confided in me, well, I at the end of the day, after I pour myself into my work, want to reward myself. And so I buy myself these beautiful gifts that then arrive later.
Yeah.
And what was fascinating about that, to realize it was part of her self-soothing for emotional reasons, was keeping
Mm.
her in a hole in perpetual credit card debt. And so in short order, I asked her, well, what would be ultimately the dream you'd want to have? And she said, I'd want to own my own studio, my own building, build equity, and be able to put more money into financial independence, retirement. It was interesting because with the rent she was paying and the luxury goods, we were able to get her into a space. She now owns a building, and this is like literally like just a few months after we started working together.
Oh my goodness.
She's buying a building, and her overall cash flow is so much less than it was before. And she's even putting away the maximum for retirement. And so every time I see her, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you've changed my life." And she hasn't even been a client that long, but it's so rewarding to help like meet her at her emotional needs and help her recognize like, aha, like these beautiful clothes that I'm never going to wear and would have difficult time even getting rid of, was holding her back.
Yeah.
Her She thought was helping her was really hurting her, and it
Yeah.
took me to give a different take on it.
Uh-huh. So sort of like, what utility is that adding to the bottom line of passion, if you will, or the bottom line of sort of what you want for an end goal. So um interesting. So it sounds like part of it is asking the right questions and the discovery and being able to kind of pull that out through the individual to be able to get to put the plan in place so that it is not just a plan for, how do I say, a plan for long term, but a plan for passion, a plan for what you want out of life too. So,
Exactly.
what about with your employees? Do you have anything internally too where you're helping them with that financial wellness side of it as well?
Yeah, I definitely, with my back office is LPL Financial, and
Mhm.
I certainly help with educational programs, and they've been very supportive with the book. And so
Yeah.
that's been a wonderful way to give back. And then with me and my own team, we have process and systems that we work on problem solving with every client. Like we all do different pieces of it.
Uh-huh.
And the young people coming in many times don't have the same level of experience that our advisors. Between the three advisors on my team, we have over 75 years of experience, which is just
Mhm.
crazy when I think of it.
Yeah.
Um, but it is, I mean, that is definitely being able to work on the systems and participate in the process is probably the best financial education any young person could have.
Okay, that's great. And then I know earlier you mentioned that you're doing some training as well for others around this idea of financial education and mental health and all that. I'd love to hear a little bit more on that too. Sort of an
Yeah,
outpour of the book.
right. So it's been wonderful. I haven't done a lot to market the book. It made a bestsellers on Amazon and has gained traction in the financial industry. So I've had some large wirehouses and in the independent space. I've had the opportunity to share my philosophies and different ideas to help their employees get a handle on their financial life, because it doesn't have to be a big step to make an important difference in your life. And it's not just about being financially secure and get to your goals. It's really about getting to the goals of, if you're a parent, your parenting plan, your relationship goals, your spiritual goals. It's really about wholeness,
Hmm.
financial wholeness.
Yeah, no, that easier said than done.
Right.
So yes, I'd love to hear if you were just sort of to give an elevator pitch or a high level of your philosophy around it too, just sort of a recap for folks that aren't listening. Um,
Well, I believe the way to help a client get go from fear to joy with their money through some curious steps is to help them find themselves. So
mm,
my book is really about it's an empowerment book. It's really about helping the reader discover and appreciate and develop self-love. It's
mm,
about getting okay with yourself. I love the acronym, that book, um, GRIT. They talk about grit is the combination of passion and perseverance. And I
mhm,
think every advisor out there most likely probably has that. But I think there's also another opportunity with the definition of a grit and using grit as an acronym, GRIT,
mhm.
of get right in there, and meaning there your heart. You have to feel good inside to really be able to launch and live the life that you want,
Yeah,
being okay with what's going on.
yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself is to be able to answer those tough questions too. So, which I think sometimes for better or worse, it's some folks are able to answer and some just aren't. And so if this book can be able to help tease that out, there, I think there's a lot of beauty in that as well, which probably I would assume is your job if someone were to come to you. I don't know if it says makes it easier, but that clarity, the idea of what north is, it's you can get to that better outcome, if you will. So, um, oh, that's so wonderful. Well, anything else you want to share too, is, for around the book or your philosophy or approach to what you're doing, just any closing thoughts?
Well, I want to share with every advisor, every end consumer out there, that you're worth it. You are worth prioritizing and creating some time and space. I mean, the one thing you can't create more of is time and energy.
Mhm.
And so by dedicating a slice for yourself, you are going to be just so much better off you're going to be a better mother, you're going to be a better partner, you're going to be a better employee and advisor. So really want to encourage people to prioritize themselves and work on themselves and not get caught up in the fear of missing out, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's so true. There's a lot of shiny object out there in the world, right? So being able to be true to self is much harder. Um, easy, like I said, easier said than done. So, well, thank you again for your time, for sharing. I think not only for being able to share your story about to where you've gotten to with the firm, but also just for taking the time to be able to put together a piece like this and to be able to share that with the world so that others, if it's your clients, if it's prospects, if it's just folks that run into it, that they can really lean into those years of experience as you've been able to, I'm sure, see behind the curtain with so many people's lives, which I'm sure I would assume would better equip you to be able to ask those tough questions. But then you're not just sharing that amongst those folks that are clients, but I think that it sounds like the book is really a gift you're giving to the world to be able to help others who are ready to sort of tease that out and lean into it. Yeah, they have a template, if you will, to do that. So thank you for your time to put that together and for sharing with us today too. So.
Oh, thank you so much, Lauren. And the services you provide can help us as advisors make a meaningful impact in getting that information out. We have a lot of information to share, and having a good strategy, like you help folks develop, is just it's really, really important. So thank you for the work that you do.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we'll make sure to include links as well to your website and book and other resources, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thank you.